What's good, everybody? It's your boy Birdman. Welcome to the Center of the Saint podcast, a special edition celebrating the NCAA tournament and the college hoop season for both the men and the women. We are excited to be here with you tonight. I got Deuce Hype with me and a very special guest, the one and only Hooper of Hoopers, Miss Chelsea Long. How's it going?
Good, good. How y'all been?
All right,
I
all
can't
right.
complain.
I ain't gonna lie, I've been doing some
That's good.
complaining. I've been doing some complaining, watching some of these games. I'm gonna do some complaining on here too. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the light at the end of the tunnel. I very much appreciated what I've seen from the games that I was able to watch. And man, this was an awesome season. I think this was probably, in my opinion, this is probably the most visible college season that we've had on both sides. Um, even because even the women's season last year got pretty popping, but something about this year it just went a whole nother level, and I probably haven't had that level of excitement about the women's game since some of the other greats I used to watch, either that came up with me in my class or there shortly after, and of course before. But yeah, I'm excited. We got a whole little lineup of topics to get to. If you're on, make sure that you share it so that as many people can see it as possible. We'll keep our eye on the chat so we can interact with you here live. But first, what we're gonna do, because I'm just gonna have to go ahead and admit it, since the women are the main draw this year, we just gonna talk about the men first. Get these men, get the men on out the way. So y'all caught the game last night.
I fell asleep on it. I'm not even gonna lie.
I only watched the first half.
Shame on both of y'all. I'm gonna say that much. Shame on both of y'all. One fell asleep, one went the first half. I stepped out and caught the game. And it was funny. We had a couple of friends and we went out the last 2 weeks on Monday night to catch the games because last week the women had their semifinal. And then this week the men had their final. And man, the energy at the spot. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it out there, man. We went to Hooters. Had to go ahead and go to Hooters. They got 2 for 1 wings on Monday.
Hey,
Um,
wings be
but
banging.
the energy in the spot for the women's game versus the men's game was crazy. Especially last night. It lasted pretty good in the first half. We saw a
Yeah,
nice
it
little
was kind of
decent
dry.
game. It was all right last night, you know what I'm saying? First half, it was a 6 point game. Everything was looking all right. And then I don't know what kind of cussing Dan Hurley did in the locker room, but boy, they proceeded to run them boys off the court. So first and foremost, congratulations to the men of UConn and Dan Hurley for their repeat championship, something we haven't seen since that great Florida team from 2006, 2007, I believe.
Yep, yep.
Um, an amazing feat to see in the men's game, especially with how spread out the talent is. I believe they had a number of people leave UConn as well last year. So to get back there and to do that with only returning a couple starters is amazing. We want to give them major props for that. Did y'all have any major thoughts about the game last night from the first half and from what you caught before you went to sleep?
Um, I think that Zach is gonna do well at the next level. Overall, I feel like UConn is a well-oiled machine. All of them, they just play team basketball, and I feel like that's why they won back to back. They both buy. I'd say with their team, they all buy into the system, and when you got a team that everyone buys in, you got a championship team.
Yeah, I concur that. I kind of when Purdue beat my Tennessee, that what's his name, Zach Edey. I figured
Mhm.
he's gonna be a problem, but I don't know the way UConn was playing. I just didn't feel like they was gonna struggle against him or that team. Maybe him, but not the team. And yeah, second half they proved that.
It kills me, man, because I was telling Chelsea before we jumped on. I always hate the way the narrative spins after games like this, where you have like the giant. super serious player versus
Oh yeah.
the program from
Mhm.
heaven that's just got the system in place to no matter how great you play, is they're going to make your greatness basically be canceled out because ain't nobody else doing nothing.
Right.
Because I can only imagine, you know, some of them games, and we see it with great players all the time when they're not on a great team. And I think that's one of the things that frustrates me. Like even to just take it back a little bit, my favorite player to watch growing up was Allen Iverson. And watching that year in 2001 where he drug the Sixers to the finals and even got that one game, I'm like,
Oh
man,
yeah.
I give him so much respect for that. But then again, I can remember in the barbershop that year, all the jokes was the look on Dikembe Mutombo's face every time they passed the ball in the shit. Every time his hand went up like this. They said they showed it in slow motion. It looked like he was saying, no. So it's rough, man, when you have someone like that to drop 37 and 10 with a couple blocks. He was crunking that first half too. After he got that second block, they said, okay, we'll fix you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he a big dude, man. What, 6'7", 7'4", 7'2",
7'4".
300 pounds? That's a big dude.
I'm looking at the stats now. They only had 2 bench points.
Who, Purdue?
Mm-hmm.
You know it wasn't UConn.
Well, you know, when I didn't watch the second half, I really don't know what happened. So
I think UConn bench just scored again. If you didn't see that buzzer go off. Hey man, at one point there was we were watching, I think they were up 19, and that motion offense was just so ridiculous. Somebody catches the ball just wide open in the corner. I'm like, how is he this wide open? And he shot it, but it rimmed out. Thank God it rimmed out, because if that would have went in, they probably would have took Zach out because it was just
probably,
over.
yeah. Now, did he take? Just help me now, since you got the stats? Did he take 7 threes?
No,
Him?
that was
Okay.
Purdue as a team only shot
Okay.
7 threes.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Okay, I was just confused.
And they only made one of them.
Gotcha.
So basically, Dan Hurley looked at that tape from all the tournament and said, "Let me tell you what you're not going to do tonight."
Right.
I'm still shocked that, especially in today's game, for a team to get off 7 threes. Caitlin Clark has 7 threes in the first quarter. Hey. She got 7 off-balance threes by the time the game over with.
Right.
Yeah, so to see that, it was shocking. So you made an allusion, Chelsea, already to you think Zach Edey will do good at the next level. Why is that?
There's not too many big men. And when I say that, I mean there's not too many 5s in the league. When I think of like Anthony Davis, I don't even consider him a 5. I consider him a 4.
Right.
There's not that many 5s in the league. So if he can come in and develop, he's gonna be good at the 5 for sure.
Rudy
he'll
Gobert is
go
gonna
top
be
10?
waiting on him.
Man, don't even get me started on that, man.
Y'all think he'll go top 10 draft?
You know, I argued with myself because it's like, how does the player of the year who is averaging 35 plus and like 15 boards a game, how does he not go high? But then what I did, I normally don't do this on the air, but I had to do a little research.
Hey, do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
I went and looked up the last several Naismith players of the year. Let me get past all these black and white pictures. So there was a center from Kentucky whose name I can't pronounce. First name Oscar. He won it in 2022.
What?
I don't know where he's at.
Right. don't even know who
We
you're talking about.
we
I
all
don't even know who that
remember.
is.
We probably all remember Luke Garza from Iowa.
I do not.
He looked like he was 28, and he was hooping.
And he was the player of the national player of the
Who
year.
is that?
I remember Luke Garza because I used to say I couldn't stand Luke Garza.
Huh.
I remember Obi. We all know Obi from here that
Mhm.
got player of the year. He's still doing good in the league. Then
Okay.
of course Zion Williamson, Jalen Brunson, they're doing their thing. Here's another good one. Frank Mason III.
Don't ring a bell.
How
It do, but
about
what's
Frank
going on with him?
Kaminsky? Y'all remember Frank Kaminsky?
That rang a
I
bell
remember that
too.
name. I remember that last name.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my personal favorites from this list, Dougie McBuckets, Doug McDermott.
Hold on. I'm trying to remember. What team?
That's like 2014 Creighton.
Oh
Oh,
no.
dang.
Mm-mm. I miss me with that one.
There's a lot of players. See, there's a lot of players that get off at the college level, and you would think that it translates, and it just doesn't automatically make that transition all the time.
You know what? That's why it seems like a lot of people are saying Bronny James will do great at the next level because he's already ready for that. Even though his stats in the college don't say that, but a lot of people think he's ready. I
I
don't
feel
know.
like his
We'll see.
defense could translate.
Yeah,
I feel like his defense could,
and
for
he's super
sure.
athletic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be fair. If his first name wasn't Bronny and his last name wasn't James,
That's facts.
and I saw him play, I probably would not have recommended the draft for him this year.
Right.
I would have said, you know what, I can see some promise, but go ahead and do that one more year.
Okay, but how does that work? Because he entered the portal first, but he also can still enter the draft,
Yeah, I
but
didn't know
still
that was
have
a thing.
eligibility to play.
I don't know exactly how it works, but I'm guessing that if he doesn't get drafted, he still has his eligibility so he can go back.
Okay.
Especially with the
Yeah.
way the new rules are, you're already technically a professional, so it's not like you're forfeiting your amateur status anymore when you can
True.
capitalize on your name, image, and likeness. That part
That's
I
what I
didn't
was
look up,
thinking.
but it's like, hey, it's kind of smart. You see where you could end up, and if you don't end up anywhere, you got college to fall back on.
Mhm.
Yep.
I do think I remember them saying something about a coaching transition where he was also, so that the person he thought he was going to be playing for and the terms he thought he would be playing under changed a bit.
Yeah. It seemed like that whole program just fell apart this year at USC.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so now of course nobody's going to consider that when you see that name. It's just going to be LeBron hate.
Right. Right. Right.
LeBron hate pressed down. Oh, okay. Appreciate you, Eric. Homie Eric Norris showing us some love. As long as he doesn't have an agent, he can return.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, and look, and the funny thing, hey, and see, look, he's got the biggest. See, this is where the cheat code works well. He doesn't have to have an agent, but his uncle name is Rich Paul. It's like, no, I'm not representing him, but don't take that deal.
Right.
So yeah, I think, and it kind of speaks to. I know one thing you guys said you wanted to cover is talking about this wonderful transfer portal situation. I checked, and I think I still got some eligibility. So Pat, we might be out of here.
Oh snap!
I think I might have 2 years left.
I probably at least got 3. I know I
That
stopped at
transfer portal
the
going
second year.
crazy.
It is. Do you think it's a good or bad thing? What?
I
Go
feel
ahead, Chelsea. You
like
go first.
I feel like they should have kept the old rules where, because when I played, it was you can transfer, but you had to sit out a year. Like if
Okay.
it was from one D1 school to another D1 school, now you can go from D1 to D2, that's no problem. But
Okay.
if you wanted to go from a D1 school to another D1 school, then you had to sit out a year.
Gotcha.
I feel like they should have kept that rule because now you have players that's just jumping in the transfer portal because their feelings are hurt, not necessarily it being a solid reason to get in the transfer portal.
Gotcha.
So
I'm
it's
on
kind of messing up the game a little bit. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm on the fence because for a couple reasons. One, I do like a certain level of player freedom and mobility,
Mhm.
but two, I think it should be regulated at least a little bit more. Like if you jump on, let's say if you done transferred once, all right, now bro, you you need to be here for a minute. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't be able to be at a different school for all
Every
4 years of
year.
your college
Yeah.
Now you can
career.
do that if you choose to now.
hmm There's
What?
one. There's actually one. Was it Haley? She did 3 schools in 3 years,
Oh yeah, because she was
if
at
I'm not
Louisville,
mistaken.
transferred to LSU, and now she's going somewhere else, right?
I
That's
think that's
crazy.
it. It's gonna be number 3.
Wow. If I'd have known that,
Yeah,
I'd be like, yeah, I'm going to UL. Now I'm gonna go to FSU. No, I'm going to USF now. Hit up Miami
hmm
after that.
yeah, but boy, Eric points out another good point that it is good for the college players, but it makes it hard for the high school players to land somewhere.
That's
You know,
true.
Even JUCO
because
transfers too.
yeah, because
Oh
unless you're
yeah,
one of
these
those
niggas.
ones, you're not going to
Yeah.
be high up on the priority list. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? You're gonna have to take a back seat.
And we don't even think
Uh,
about the JUCO players. Like we talk about
Yeah,
straight up
JUCO
promotion
transfers
time.
too.
Right. Dang.
yeah, it needs a bit more regulation. I think they need some outside help because basically what they did was went from one extreme to the other extreme,
hmm
where it was like
Yeah.
almost over regulated to not regulated enough. So now as a
Right.
result, you got kind of a wild, wild west type thing going where everybody's just going everywhere. And that doesn't necessarily feed the game the right way.
And that's
And
why
I
I
never
said
really
too.
thought about it from the high school perspective.
Yeah. That's
So
good.
that
That's a
is,
good perspective.
I
What
think
about
that's why sitting out that year is it's worth it because it's really gonna make you when you go to pick a school, it's gonna make you think twice about really okay, what school do I really want to call home as opposed to just
right?
hopping everywhere.
And to add to your point, Chelsea, do you think, or to ask you to that point with transfer, do you think some of these a percentage of these kids transferring because of the NIL numbers? Oh, I can get more over here. I go over here.
I've had a couple of coaches say that. I've had coaches I recently just talked to a couple weeks ago tell me because there are some coaches that are still coaching when I played in college. But I've had a couple tell me recently they couldn't. They were recruiting a kid at one point, and then the kid decommitted, or they said, "Oh, never mind, I'm not gonna go with you no more," because now like they're telling me I can get A over here as far as
Wow.
NIL. So it's yeah, it's pretty bad. So there are definitely some athletes as well, not really picking a school based on culture, based on values, based on the coach. I feel like that was very prominent back then. I feel like now everyone's just kind of like chasing the bag, chasing the
Yeah.
spotlight. So it's messing up the game in some way.
it's kind of a tough thing though, because if they would have had some level of fair wage from the get go,
hmm
I think it would have been a lot easier and people wouldn't feel the need to quote unquote, chase the bag
hmm
because now you basically given kids somewhere between the age of 17 and 22 an opportunity to have a 6 to 7 to maybe 8 figure payday
hmm
Yeah.
right out of high school.
Right.
And you look, you offer 18-year-old bird 7 mil or a meal to go do something, and the word
Right.
culture ain't gonna come out of my mouth. Are you saying couture? Was that couture? Is that something you offer at that school? I would have been right at the Ralph Lauren outlet after I signed that deal. Back then, we would have been up. We'd have been in Fort
Y'all would have been in the
Lauderdale at
Gucci store.
Sawgrass.
Hey,
Colors, we out. It's on me tonight. It's on me.
and then and, I mean, and seriously, like, what do you tell these kids? Because I guarantee you, a lot of them want to go ahead and get as much as they can because they don't know what if they change it to something else, or what if they change it back, or what if they take it away.
Yeah, you got some kids too that they feel like they have to take care of their family early on.
Oh yeah,
They want to get right to it.
true.
Right, and even once you get outside of athletics, when you look at us as adults, if we're operating in a career field that we worked hard to get into, and somebody comes along on our job and says, "Hey, we'll pay you X amount of dollars more than what you're paid to be doing it now,"
Done. Deal.
we out. Unless you own the company, that's one thing. But hey, if somebody tells me they can get me off the shift I'm working right now and pay me more, that 2-week notice is going in.
You ain't even getting 2 weeks. I'm leaving now.
I'm giving my 2 weeks. I might need to come back just in case. Hey, if that NIL dry up over there, I need to come back. come back humbly and be like, you know what, boss, I made a mistake.
Right.
I'd like to get back to work now, if you don't mind.
I was just playing when I said I quit. I was just testing y'all.
And then even I think there's certain coaches when it comes down to the whole thing. I don't like some of the coaches. It's certain coaches I don't like pouting. Whether it's on the football side or the basketball side, primarily the football side. Like I'm sorry to all my Bama fans. I don't want to hear Nick Saban crying about NIL.
Right. Come on, man. Come on.
Because when you was racking up 4- and 5-star recruits left and right through some method that's just supposedly great coaching.
They had their own NIL.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Come on now. Hey, look, let's keep it real. How many of y'all knew what Tuscaloosa is?
Booster Club.
You don't know where I can show you a map, a blank map of Alabama. You can't point out Tuscaloosa.
Let alone say it without being heard it first. Like,
what club you heard of in Tuscaloosa? What bar? What restaurant?
You're right. You're 100% right.
And then
Ain't
coaches
even on my bucket list.
Yeah, and then there's coaches
they
like
have good food.
They got something going on out there. Many of us going over there.
Right.
So when you've amassed a certain amount of success in the old system, when things change, I expect you to adapt. Now, at the same time, Nick Saban's like 70. Go ahead and sit down, bro. Do something else. But then another coach I say I didn't like hearing stuff like that from was like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin to have more jobs than the Jamaican.
Oh my God!
When it comes to coaching, Lane Kiffin has failed upwards,
right,
several times,
and he keep getting better jobs. Like how?
And Mo
pay, better job, and sometimes didn't stay anywhere near as long as he was supposed to. It's okay for him to do that. It's understandable that he would pursue a better opportunity for his family.
Right.
But when a quarterback or a point guard does it, the system's out of control.
Right.
We've been watching y'all do it for 50 years with no regulation.
Nothing.
Shoot, you can coach a bowl game, get right on the plane and go to your next. Hey, man, look. Hey, I know I'm sour, okay? I watched Jimbo Fisher get off that plane at Texas A&M. Just as happy. Hey, he looked like he lost weight. He was a little tan. Had a 5 o'clock shadow, stepping off the plane with the.
Bet you he regretted now.
No, he probably did not too much. Did you see how much they paid him?
I know how much they paid him, but I guarantee they like, listen, you got one more chance. All that money we done paid you, you better bring it to Texas A&M.
Yeah, so seeing stuff like that, it's like, okay, I understand that things are a bit out of control. Yeah. But especially with some of the players, it's hard to know who's playing for your favorite team sometimes when you go into the next season. That's why a lot of times when people try to talk to me about who Florida State's recruiting or who another team is recruiting, I'm like, hey, don't tell me nothing until they put the uniform on and
Right.
the ball is snapped or the ball is tipped off, because
Yeah.
I can't guarantee that they're gonna be there, especially not in this system where it's like a bidding war for some of these players that's coming out.
That's true.
So it's like it's good to see coaches that are at least taking enough advantage of the system. Like that's one of the good things they were talking about with Dan Hurley at UConn. He has enough players that he's recruited. He has enough
Mm-hmm.
players that he got out the portal, and
Yeah.
enough transfers per se to build still players that fit the culture, and not necessarily just trying to go out and grab the biggest name that hit the portal.
And you know
And
who else it helps?
Mhm.
It helps Coach Prime. He ain't got no problem with the portal.
he is the portal.
No, for real.
you got to pass through Colorado before you get anywhere.
Right.
You're
You know where to
at least
find
gonna
them.
pay the visit. But yeah, it's crazy. Even after, whether it's when you look at Coach K, who could have all those one and dones for all those years, get bounced out of the tournament in like the first round and have job offers other places. And then also to have Dan Hurley win a championship, and one of the first questions he gets when he's at a press conference is, "Are you leaving?"
Oh wow.
Yeah,
It's
for
like, all
real.
right, so y'all are kind of promoting coach movement, but also talking down against player movement.
Mm-hmm.
So to me,
Mhm.
that's where we start to get a little bit out of whack.
Yeah.
Let everybody just sit down somewhere. But I know Pat's getting ready to go. Before you go, Pat, you had a shout out. You got family in here
Hey, Cuzzo.
watching with us. A couple of the homies in here. The homie Steve
What up? What
on
up?
watching with us tonight. Cousin Pastor
Pastor
Apostle
Nate.
Nate them, and the homie Clint, the maestro, the public speaker, the world renowned Clinton Hatcher.
Yes,
We
sir.
appreciate you being on with us tonight. But before we let you go, Pat, Pat is the one in the group who's the most passionate about women's sports.
Shout out.
So we got to go ahead and congratulate Don Staley and the women from South Carolina on an
Yeah.
awesome, amazing, historic season.
Yeah.
And I just want
So
to say before we get down to the nitty gritty, I just want to say that uh, I didn't appreciate what y'all did to Caitlin Clark. She was just trying to put Iowa on her back. You know what I'm saying?
But she did. Hey, she did.
Just
she
2 years
did.
in a row. They was in the fight
She
in the
did.
championship game. I guarantee they won't be there next year.
hey man, there was just. So what did y'all think about the women's tournament overall? Pat, you can go first because I know you got to go. And look
You're
at you
right.
know Steve done made an appearance. I wasn't gonna take it there, Steve, but we know what it was. Black History Month ended and we just got loose.
Listen,
Hey, shout
honestly,
out to
man.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. But honestly, bro, I thought from the Elite Eight to the championship game in the women's tournament was amazing. I mean, to see the rematch between Iowa and LSU, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark I was all man. I was right there, glued on the TV, and then UConn being that historic program, winning all these championships. Well, they won like 4 years in a row at one point, almost undefeated every year.
Hmm.
Man, for them to beat them, and then South Carolina was just they shouldn't have even been this good, right? They lost all 5 of their starters, and they still go undefeated. That's a testament to their coach and them buying into that program and them wanting to avenge that loss. That revenge tour, baby, revenge tour. And I'm not a South Carolina fan. I'm a Tennessee fan, but I love the SEC, so I'm rocking with them. I'm rocking with them. But I thought it was a great game. It was amazing for not just women's college basketball, but college basketball in general. And what, 18.7 million views? And I'm gonna go on record and say this. You hear me now? Caitlin Clark, she will be a bigger superstar than 95% of them NBA players. I guarantee
All right, you just gonna jump on off the ledge, just right, just gonna get it all in before you get out, huh? All right. Before I'm not even gonna take the bait on that last one. I'm gonna just let you enjoy yourself for a moment.
Please
I
give him a
will
moment.
I will say that on the women's side, the way that they seeded that tournament was brilliant.
Yeah.
There was so many great matchups, and for a lot of the nights, for a lot of the days, there was somebody you wanted to see playing every day.
Mm-hmm.
I can't lie, on the men's side, not to compare them, but I'm telling you, I learned something this year. I ain't know there was an Oakland in Detroit or
I
in
didn't
Michigan.
either.
In
I just
Michigan,
knew
I
it
was
was
like,
Oakland,
Oakland.
California. I knew it. I knew it was Oakland, California. I knew that. I'm wrong.
And then for so many of the other teams, I mean, I understand this. You know, you got what 68 plus one that's getting in, or whatever the case is. I know it's hard to have every matchup be compelling, and not 100% of the matchups on the women's side were compelling. But whether it's Juju, whether it's Caitlin, whether it's Angel, whether it's South Carolina, whether it's UConn, there's somebody you wanted to see seemingly play every night. So that was awesome to see. But I will tell you one thing, y'all done ticked Uncle Gino off. And he might be back with vengeance next year.
Man, ain't nobody worried about UConn no more. I ain't worried about them.
Yeah, all right. He probably gonna clip this right up. He gonna clip this right up.
Hey, let
I
him.
don't see them winning next year either.
Right. They done. They dynasty. Listen, they
I
had
don't
their
see them
run.
winning next year.
They had their run. It's South Carolina time now.
They're gonna get back to the Final Four, but I don't
Oh
see them
yeah,
winning
for
the
sure.
whole thing.
They'll always be. I think they'll always be relevant as long as he's coaching. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them being as dominant as they were once was.
So what did y'all think about the championship game? That brutal,
Listen, I'm gonna have to tune in
brutal
later.
championship game I saw. Oh yeah, you go ahead, bro.
All right.
He's
the
got
way
to be
he dropped the bomb and got off.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna do it. He's got to do the dad thing, so we always excuse that here. But man, look, Gino looked like somebody shot his dog at that press conference. So I know he's probably already recruiting. And then of course, we already know Eric. We know Don is reloading also. I'm interested to see
the whole team coming back besides two people.
Yeah, I'm
All she
interested
needs
to
is another
see.
big.
I had heard Notre Dame make some noise, so I want to see what happens if they're healthy next year. See if they do a little something.
I do want to see them get a big for sure. They need a big, and they need a 3-point shooter.
No, I thought didn't.
But actually, no, I lied. They have Emma already.
Right.
So we'll probably be seeing more Emma next year. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But they definitely need another one. They need a 3-point shooter.
So before we get too far off into the weeds, what do you think about the championship game itself? I guess in comparison to the semifinal.
I feel like the championship game, in my opinion, South Carolina, listen, they was down, it was 20-9, and Dawn ain't called no timeout. I said, that's when I knew. I said, yeah, this team is just, they're going to get it right. They're going to get it together, and they did. I feel like the first half, Caitlin came out smoking hot. She had to find a way to stop her. She was going to drop 40.
Yeah.
18 in the first quarter is crazy.
I just knew she was gonna come through.
They had to just quick. They was not going for that no more. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Quick. That game was crazy though. That game was really good.
Yeah, definitely. That was a good game. I could probably honestly say I've never been as emotionally invested in a game on the women's side as I was in that one. Just because, kind of like the same thing with Zach Edey, when you have the great player versus the great team,
Hmm.
every now and then you want to see the great player overcome. Just me personally. Plus, I ain't like the way y'all was saying that they tried to rig it for my dog anyway. I ain't like that. I didn't like
Hey, the
that.
rest was roughing a little bit. Ain't even going lie.
I don't like when y'all do that because you only do it when it don't go the way you want it to.
Listen, the rest was
So I
roughing a little
was
bit. I ain't even gonna lie.
I
I
was
will
hoping
say
Caitlin
too
got
that
one.
I will say too that they did miss a couple calls against South Carolina, but it's all good. It was even.
Oh yeah, South Carolina did that after that 18-point barrage. I think they went in the back, took the gloves off, and said, "You know what?
Yeah,
It's
Raven the
just gonna
Clamp
be
Johnson.
it's just gonna be a street fight now." And it just
She did her homework though. She watched film. She did her homework. She really did. It showed. LSU, I don't know what they were doing. Their defense was horrible, and I feel like really their defense been horrible all season.
I
If we
think
being
they were
honest, there.
determined to some. It's like every now and then you run into a coach or a team that's determined to beat you their way instead of adjusting. But it's like, hey,
Hmm.
by the time now, just even in a pickup game, and Eric will tell you this, by the third bucket somebody score on you that look a little suspect, you getting tapped on the shoulder. Be like, hey, do we need to switch here, or do we gotta do something?
But yeah,
But
they definitely did not look like the same team this year. They looked like they weren't conditioned. And I don't know. LSU, honestly, they need to be running yesterday. They don't need to be taking no vacations going to Cancun. And if they're gonna do that, they need to sprint there. They don't need to take no plane. That conditioning is bad.
yeah, they
They look gassed the whole season.
yeah, that it was only part of my petty wanted Iowa to win that one anyway. Just because I remembered all this. I remember all this.
I
All this.
mean,
And I already know she did it to the other team. I know.
yeah, can have her fair share too. I mean,
But at the same time, I like for the person who actually got it done to them to get back. Don't you come over here from West Nowhere trying to jump all up in the mix now because somebody else got taunted. But I mean, hey,
yeah,
whatever.
that's her dog. Though. She gonna stick up for her dog.
Yeah, it was still that was an amazing tournament. So of
It
course
was
we've seen Diana Taurasi, who's been playing in the league for about 25 years. I
going
think
on 40.
I think she's trying to kill LeBron's record for whatever how
Yeah,
the
she need to
duration of
hang it
play
up,
is.
man. She gotta hang
So
it up at some point.
we saw her comments on Caitlin Clark at the next level. How you think Caitlin's going to do at the next level, and then I'll ask about a couple others also.
I think she's gonna do well. I see Caitlyn as like a Steph Curry, honestly. I know like a lot of people are trying to say like she's the best player ever. I honestly just feel like she's a Steph Curry. A lot of people they didn't start watching Caitlyn until she was hitting those deep threes.
Right.
And when you think of a player that comes to mind, the first player that comes to mind is Steph Curry. And of course, nobody's saying Steph Curry is the best player of all time.
Right.
So, in my opinion, her game is going to translate at the next level. I do want to see her, of course, keep that three ball, but definitely have a quicker release. I feel like she's gonna need that in a W. She needs to have a quick release on that three. Uh, Her passing ability, I just want to see her like improve overall. Just, I think she needs to mimic her game like Steph Curry, to be honest. If I had to watch a player going into the W, I would watch a lot of Steph Curry films and tapes.
I think that what's probably going to shine through more than anything, and this is wild that a lot more people don't pay attention to it. I think that actually her passing ability is
Hmm.
going to be what shines when she first gets
Yeah.
there. And what's going to piss me off is the casual fan is going to think she's being locked down.
Hmm.
But it's like she led the nation in assists also.
Yeah, she just got to play smarter basketball.
Right.
Like even in the championship game, she jacked up a lot of threes. I think it was around like 2 minutes left in the game. She jacked up a three. You could tell it was kind of like a prayer go in, but it was a bad
Right.
shot.
Hey, by the time you got done being handled like that for 3 quarters, you gotta
She just like, I'm
maybe
gonna
just
take
want to go.
whatever. Well, I'm gonna just shoot whatever at this point. Hope it go in. Even with Angel Reese too, I know I had seen like a clip of her working with can't think of his name, Wemby's trainer.
Mm,
Yeah, she's been working on her mid-range game. I think she definitely needs to improve on that. We didn't see a lot of her mid-range when she was at LSU. She might have had some at Maryland, but I ain't really watched her when she was with Maryland.
right.
But I think she's gonna be great too. She just needs to develop that midi game, and she'll be good. That rebounding and her finishing is already there. And I think
Yeah,
if she could be a little quicker on her feet, then she'll be all right.
I'll be interested to see how all that's going to go when you run into some of them that they got waiting for her at the next level.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like at the college level, it seems like you only meet your match every now and then when it comes to the battle down low.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the W, they got they got somebody for you every night who's probably taller and who
You
can
got
get
Alyssa
after it.
Thomas, you got Bonner. There's so many different women. Like she's gonna have to, yeah, she's gonna have to develop that game all around.
I think the one who's probably just all around naturally the most ready is probably Juju.
I agree.
Just watching her play is like it's almost like a female Carmelo with better passes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's just so pretty to watch, man. It's and then
And
the only thing is, go ahead.
I think even with USC, they're gonna be a way better team next year because I think now she's gonna start bringing in a lot more recruits to actually want to play with her.
Yeah, my boy had said in the chat earlier they
Yep.
need to send
See,
somebody over there for Juju.
no, for real. She need to. If she gets some more help, I think they at least make it to the Final Four. I think what they made it to the Elite Eight, right?
Right,
I said they was gonna get knocked out this year at Sweet 16 because I just didn't think that she could carry that team on her back. Not so soon.
right. That's a tall order, especially once you get down to 16.
Hmm.
That's where the ones are at.
Yeah.
And I had honestly my own mistake just because of the way that the attention kind of shifted with the college game this year. I had almost forgot about Paige up at UConn, and then when I saw them matched up, I was like, "Oh, wait a minute! They still got Mrs. Buckets."
Hmm.
So I was
Yeah,
excited to
man.
see that matchup, but they jumped Juju too. They jumped her. they, there's a lot of violent defense being played in this tournament,
Everybody
and
was face guarding.
yeah, it was beautiful to see. I think this was an awesome season for the game for sure. Um, but you did mention how there's a lot of people who are trying to make Caitlin Clark the greatest female basketball player to have ever played. Of course, that would be a bit of a mistake. I'm not even going to go to that level of craziness. I've enjoyed watching her play, but of course, because of my age and watching the game for so long,
Hmm.
you've seen some ridiculous talent. Um, I've seen some sensible people go top 10, top 20, top 25. Where do you think she ranks for you all time?
Um, I
Don't
would
go
say
above,
she's
don't go above 50, please. Just don't go above 50 because that's
no, I would say hands down, she's probably the best shooter of all time that I've seen so far. Um, Overall, I would say top 15. That's past and present. And I say that because even when I played in college, there were a lot of women that I feel like personally, I mean, they were unguardable. Like some women I played, you had no answer for them, and even some they were so defensively sound to you wasn't scoring a basket. Like so, I can't really say. I would say top 15, but then again, I would say my overall GOAT is Maya Moore. When I look at stats, I look at numbers. She took better shots than Caitlin.
Right.
She was overall more efficient. I think for her career at UConn, she made over 50% of her shots on average. So I feel like she took better shots. She made more shots. Although she averaged less, she still made more shots. She's more so I would say like our LeBron, or even if you look at Candace Parker was a dog at Tennessee. Like
Right.
it's so many different people. You look at Ivory Latta, like you look at Lindsey Harden. Like it's so many different people like in that era that was playing that was just good. You had no answer for them, and I feel like Caitlyn is more one dimensional right now. And as far as when I say that, I mean like she has to rely on her shooting. Yes, she can pass, but when she wasn't able to get those shots off, it was just kind of like they took her out the game, and I feel like that's why South Carolina they won.
There
Them
go
two,
Eric. Eric gonna
yeah.
put him in there.
Earl Moore too,
Now, personally,
yeah.
also,
Cheryl Maryland, like
yeah,
I got
and I
Cheryl
always
Miller.
used to love watching back 20 years ago, Diana Taurasi was a killer.
She was a dog. She was a beast. Don Staley was too.
Yeah, mean
It's too many to name. Like it's way too many to name.
the way she used to chew that gum. Wow. I'll never forget just watching John Staley chew that gum just hard and just kill you. I know it's a simple thing, but
Yeah.
there's one more. I can't remember her name right now. I'm mad. I'm gonna have to Google her, but she's a recent one also.
Kelsey
She's
Plum, or like more
no,
recent.
she's on the taller side. She was also a white girl. She was a
Stewie,
good
Brianna
shooter.
Stewart.
Not Brianna Stewart, but she's serious too. Hold on. Now I got to find her. The gum chewing. The gum chewing.
No facts.
Oh,
Tearing up the defense and tearing up that gum at the same time.
right. And didn't lose the gum.
Ever. She
I'm
like
gonna
this my
think.
mouthpiece.
I'm gonna think of the girl name as soon as we get off. As soon as we get off this broadcast. There she go. Elena Deladon in
Yeah.
college. Ooh, woo. I used to
She
love
was a beast.
I used to love her. Appreciate it, bro. Oh my goodness. That's
She a
why
beast.
this is probably going to be over the next 2 to 5 years and beyond. I think we might get to the point where we see the women's game professionally progress to the level of compensation that's desired, at least a bit closer, because you're going to have the eyes now.
Mm-hmm.
This talent that's coming in and the talent that's already there is crazy. They're going to have to expand. Otherwise, these teams are going to be so stacked. People ain't going to average but 15 minutes a game because you got to sub so much.
Oh, they can expand right there with that portal.
I mean, at the professional level.
Oh, okay.
Because there's how many WNBA teams right now?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 8?
I
There's
don't
more
know,
than
but
8.
not that many. Yeah, it's more than 8. 12 or 13, maybe.
Right.
I think Houston needs to bring their team back. If somebody can bring Houston Comets back,
it's crazy that they had to
I
get
want to
rid
see
of
a
them because
team in.
that's like historic anyway.
Yeah, no, they need to bring them back. If Orlando brought their team back, Orlando Miracle, and and who else was it? Detroit Shock.
Hey, as much as the Magic charging for them games now, you can bring that other team back. Hey, they don't even change the Geico garage. You got to prepay to get the Geico garage now. You can't just pull up over there and get in the garage. You got to
For real.
pay ahead of time. Yeah, hey, bring him, bring the miracle on back. Come on.
But yeah, for sure, I want to see Houston bring their team back at least within the next 3 years. Houston need to bring their team back, especially with Houston popping now. They can almost have, I would say, they can almost be like Las Vegas Aces if they play it right. They need to bring that team back as far as they can get that revenue up for sure.
That Las Vegas team is crazy.
Serious.
That's like what happens when you sign up for rec league too late, and you end up playing against the team that got all the.
Do you think Candace Parker need to retire at this point?
I think she could. I think some people are just going to go out on their sword like a warrior. And Candace may still have a little something in the tank, just like Diana. But it's like with Candace, she's at least already started to make the transition to broadcasting.
Yeah.
So you still can be passionate about the game. You still can be involved in the game. It just looks a little differently. Diana, I just feel like she would be rough on TV on somebody.
She's gonna be in headlines every week.
Yeah, she ain't gonna pull no punches. Yeah. Tatiana says she need that check. She got another baby on the way.
Hey.
I mean, the TV check can't be too bad for TNT and NBA TV. So, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe she need to sell some tummy tuck tea or something. Get another stream of income in there.
Oh man, but other than that, I'll say that I've thoroughly enjoyed where the women's game has gotten to this year, and I'm looking forward to see how that translate for all the girls who are coming out and hitting the league, because we're gonna be locked in. I'm gonna tell you what I hope don't happen. I hope whenever Caitlin gets drafted, that she don't play Diana Taurasi's team, because Diana Taurasi is going to Patrick Beverly her that first game.
Oh, they're on the schedule.
You remember when Lonzo Ball got drafted and his daddy made all that noise from the tip off? Pat Beverly went over there and knocked him down. Don't y'all do that to Caitlin Clark at the next level. Just play regular.
I mean,
y'all ain't
got
to do all that.
Kelsey Plum. DT did do it to Kelsey Plum.
Yeah,
if I find a clip, I'm gonna send it to you. But she did.
Look, this is going to be I think the year that breaks it this year. And next year there's going to be some major developments. There has to be. I think this is probably one of the best times for the game, just as far as visibility. The talent's always been there, but the visibility seems to be higher than ever now, especially with the stats from that championship game. 18.7 million.
That's crazy.
Yeah, if that translates to the W, that's going to be awesome.
On the draft?
I haven't given it a whole lot of thought yet. I'm still just kind of digesting the whole season and revisiting some conversations I had, like the one Pat who we just got off with. We had a random argument one day about pay in women's sports, me, him, and my other partner who we're usually on with. And then revisiting that argument in light of, how this season has went. The excuses are starting to run out. Like we're getting to a point now where the visibility is there. When the visibility is there and the viewership's there, usually that comes with sponsorships. Once you get those sponsorships and advertising dollars, that gives you the ability to go ahead and up those salaries. And I understand that there has been some operation in the red for quite some time, but you ain't gonna say that when this new crop comes out and comes to your city. I think I can't remember who was telling me, but I think they were saying whenever whatever team Caitlin Clark plays on, whenever they come to play Las Vegas, they're gonna have to move the game to a bigger venue.
Things like 20K plus, as opposed to the 12,000.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're not just going to be moving me up 8,000 in live eyes, see more visibility on TV, and give me the same little check you've been giving me this whole time.
Right.
So something's going to have to adjust. You might have to dust your sneakers off and stretch. Get on back out there. It's time.
Gonna have the owner running with you.
I'm telling you, look, I'm checking my eligibility. And that's another thing, a good thing Eric brought up. At some point, they're going to have to do something because it makes no sense that you can make more from an NIL deal in college than you can at the next level as a professional athlete. That's wild.
I'm pretty sure, too, most of their NIL deals are just going to transfer over with them.
And even now I'll ask before we jump off, because I don't want to keep you on here all night. What did you think about the offer from Ice Cube for Caitlin Clark to play in the Big Three?
For her, it's risky. For them, of course, it would generate more money. More people gonna watch. But for her, it would be a risk. I mean, the money sounds good. That's if they even have it, because I don't even know how much the Big Three is valued at to even give her $5 million. 1, 2, it's a risk of being hurt, because you gotta think about it, you playing with guys, you're not, and it's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, they got Reggie Evans out there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. You got.
I just want you to think about what would happen if you paid Reggie Evans $50,000 to play, and you paid Caitlin Clark $5 million to play. Reggie ain't gonna be too happy.
Yeah, it's gonna cause problems. I wouldn't do it though. If I was her personally, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I don't know. Did you see anything about a $10 million offer?
Yeah, I think I did see that. Something like he'll double it or offer 10. Lil Durk. Yeah, I think I did see that. I still wouldn't do it though. All money ain't good money.
I don't know. Hey, I'll tell him $500,000. I get out there to show Reggie Evans. I'll lift weights too, Reg. Hey, hold on.
If they offer you 500 M's and giving them pennies, oh, you finna get out there and get clothesline.
Look, I don't even need the M's. Just let me get that $500,000 right now, the way I'm feeling. I'll take care of a few things for me that I need done in my personal life. Look, but yeah, plus honestly, and this is something I never really thought about. I understand that these are retired NBA players, so it's still a form of professional, but it's still almost a bit of a slight in that it's not the highest level of offer, because every other offer she's getting is to play at the highest level. And this necessarily isn't that. Oh, hold on.
What up?
We got an intruder into the chat, bro. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? God, how you doing?
Pretty good, man. We was talking about whether or not Caitlin should take this $5 million.
Of course she could.
No.
Of course she should. What are we talking? How you doing, Chelsea?
Good.
What are we even talking about? Of course she should take that $5 million. You crazy? Are you crazy? I mean,
she gonna take that $5 million and stand in the corner.
Listen, she can take that $5 million. She can go and play in the Big Three. Okay, she can go play in the Big Three. Take that $5 million. It'll be trend setting. It'll be record breaking. It'll be the newest thing. Everybody will talk about it. right? And then when that's done, she can go play the WNBA for pennies. Pennies. I mean, why not? Of course, you should take the $5 million. I mean, that's the no brainer, right? Am I stupid? Am I silly? What y'all think?
I wouldn't take it at the risk of being hurt.
I told her one name, Reggie Evans. Reggie Evans is out there.
I wouldn't take it at the risk of being hurt.
Listen, she could very much so take that risk of being hurt. But you think anything is going to change the fact that no matter whatever the circumstances are, this woman is still going to be drafted. Not just drafted, but this woman will still play the WNBA, no problems. Whether it be this season, next season, whenever, no problem. I mean, it's just a no-brainer. I don't think she get hurt. I mean, she's fresh. She just got off a season. I think that. I mean, I wish Caitlin would have won this year because I was one of the ones that wanted to see her win this chip because very much so she's been, to me, one of the most electrifying things to watch in women's sports, period. Caitlin is I've been watching Caitlin and Angel and Fajay and Juju and a bunch of them, man. But this particular season it's been crazy. But I think that she'd be fine. I think that she'd be fine. And I think that the WNBA will be there waiting on her. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it ain't going nowhere. She's not going to lose anything. I very much so think that she'd have a phenomenal opportunity to be able to make some money alongside whatever the other endorsements or anything. I mean, I think going to the Big Three, so many people are going to get behind that, right? I think so.
If I really think about it, I would have to wonder how the rest of the league would respond. Because ain't nobody else in the big league. I don't think nobody's making $5 million.
They ain't even making a meal.
Right. Because I remember I just happened to I'll be watching Gil's Arena. Okay. And him and Kenyon both played in it. So when they saw the offer, when they saw the offer, Kenyon Martin said it was just something to get off the couch. Now imagine if Kenyon Martin's still playing and he sees a $5 million ticket across from him, and she decides that she wants to go for a layup.
Now, okay, baby. Now let's say this though. I mean, it's Milan. Give him some of the candy out of the bag. Yeah. Now let's look at it this way. I mean, viewership brings the numbers, right? I mean, Caitlin's gonna bring the numbers. She's gonna bring the viewership, right? It's not a. I'm sorry. It's not a.
That boy got somebody blowing the phone up.
Yeah, I got a customer that just hit me up. My auntie just hit me up, but nevertheless, but it's a viewership thing, right? So I mean, I'm sorry, Kenyon Martin, but brother.
Hey man, look, Kenyon Martin ain't exactly the type you apologize to.
Nah, you're talking about that too.
You got to see him outside about his. You might not have to go outside,
but you gotta
have to see him.
You gotta respect it. I mean, I would, right? I mean, what are you supposed to do? I mean, she's like I said before. Caitlin's gonna bring the viewers. WNBA, for the life of me, I don't understand why. I mean, I shouldn't say it like that because that's gonna come off the wrong way.
They're messing up their own viewership.
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, they're messing up their own viewership because they're not getting rid of who they need to really get rid of.
That so that, and also, I really believe that anything that women get behind will be not just extremely successful, but together, if they promote it, women say, "Hey, we're gonna join together and support the WNBA, support the league, support what's going on." I truly believe that things could 100% turn around. If more women watched it, right? Because I'm gonna guess. I don't know the numbers, but I'm gonna guess that viewership is probably mostly men, right? Watching women's basketball. I think more women should watch women's basketball, right? Even if they didn't like it, I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? But just because of the cause, you know what I'm saying? I would support. Just because of the cause, I would support. And it is what it is. Caitlin's gonna bring eyes. I don't see anything wrong with her going to the Big Three and playing basketball, setting it off, maybe opening the door a little bit for other women of her stature to come in and play at that particular level in the Big Three and be able to get that kind of money. Maybe things really sprout up, viewership sprouts up even more for the Big Three, and maybe these contracts get even bigger. Maybe that happens, but Caitlin going directly to the WNBA and signing those contracts and playing for the amount of money she's offered there. I mean, why limit herself to that is what I'm saying.
Gotta keep more women in the States too, because we don't want another Brittany Griner situation.
For real.
Let me ask y'all an alternative question, because I think some of the response that we hear to the prospect of her playing in the Big Three is based on who she is. Do you think that there is another female hooper that would be better equipped to actually make that crossover to play the men's game than Caitlin Clark?
Right now?
Yeah, right now. Or you can go historically if it makes it easier. We can do both, historically and right now.
I mean, she decided to retire and go be with her husband, so
yeah.
I mean, ain't nothing we could do about that.
Big Three, I think. To me, I think
right,
you have to rule out Maya Moore. Okay, I can see Maya Moore.
Yeah,
I think you have to rule out some of
husband.
the big, your centers. I think you got to rule the centers out, because I don't really see too many centers that are women that would probably be able to cross over into that particular game. So let me go shooting guards and small forwards.
Well, are you saying Big Three though?
I mean, I don't know, man. Look, I mean, I don't know. I would like women guards in the Big Three. I would think women guards in the Big Three, certain ones would translate. I mean, I've hooped with girls that are guards, and they was phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? And just as well as I'm on the basketball court with females guards. I mean, I had a homegirl of mine back in the day, Tasha, Thomas, KP. What's up, babe? KP. They're just phenomenal guards. KP, Alex, phenomenal guards. Now, if I hit her in the corner, she gonna hit. She probably gonna hit. I don't see anything wrong with that. As for guards, I think 100% guards. I think there's a few that can play, that would be able to turn against. So now let's go names. Let me see. I'm
gonna submit Juju.
Yeah. Juju Watkins is.
I feel like Reggie Evans would have to think twice before he hit her.
Juju would be good.
He'd have to think about it just a little bit.
I'm gonna go with Chelsea Gray. Her passing ability. I'm gonna go with Chelsea Gray. She could throw alleys to him too.
That would actually be my pick as well.
Plus, I like Juju's mid-range game, so she's not dependent on having to go all the way to the cup.
Yeah,
mid-range and the float. So it's like, okay, you can survive a bit better and not giving these roughnecks a reason to get an easy foul off on you.
So why y'all think I don't know what you guys spoke about before, but I want y'all opinions. Why do you think that Iowa lost? Other than the defense, do you think that Iowa guards could have did a better job in regards to taking care of the basketball, so they could have won this basketball game? Do you think there was a chance? Do you guys think it was a chance against them? No.
If I had to be honest, their only chance was for Caitlin Clark to go nuclear, and unfortunately, they ran into kryptonite.
Yeah. What's that tall girl on
Cardozo.
Yes. Yeah, she's a problem, man.
She was all over the boards.
Yeah, she was a problem. She was a problem. South Carolina's defense was just phenomenal, man. I mean, they did exactly what I would have thought they would have did, especially with Caitlin. You know, they were picking her up, you know, before she came across half court.
They picked her up from the hotel.
Yeah,
after the first quarter,
across half court, they was in the mouth then.
Hey, after the first quarter, they say, "Hey, hold on, give it. let me give you a ride, sis."
Yeah, man. Yeah,
but
I
think
surprised.
Watching, if I make a comparison, watching South Carolina defend them was the equivalent to watching UConn's offense last night.
Yeah,
it was just a beautiful display of you're not getting what you want, and we're getting everything that we want.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing to watch, even though I did want to see Caitlin get one, but I'm certainly not going to complain about Don Staley crossing over into legendary coach status.
Absolutely. She's a phenomenal coach, man. And I know, you know, years ago people were giving a lot of backlash, but she's a phenomenal coach, man. I could tell how the girls, not only do they really respect her, but she definitely looks like she allows them to be them on the basketball courts. Ain't no robots out there. You know what I mean? Ain't no robots. And she allowed them girls to play. You know, everybody looks like on the basketball court they got a green light, which, you know, that allows everybody to be a little bit more fluid, you know, in the gameplay. And I think the best teams always look like that, you know.
Yeah, them freshmen gonna be crazy next season.
What? Yeah. Tessa?
She did what she wanted to do.
My goodness.
It's gonna get ugly, and
Tessa is gonna be a monster.
Yeah, they still got Wally.
God, yeah. My goodness. Tessa had me screaming at the TV. So this girl, the truth, she's a freshman. That's big, man. They got some depth on that basketball team, man. Now, let me ask y'all this. Caitlin hasn't, you know, she hasn't played with in the WNBA. She hasn't played with women like that. You guys think she's gonna have a problem transferring this game over into the WNBA?
I was just telling Alex she's gonna have a learning curve, but if she mimics her game like Steph Curry, she'll be fine.
You think so? Yeah. You think they'll still allow? Because I mean, it's different when these girls are seasoned now, right? These girls are seasoned. They've been there, done it. You know, they 100% know exactly what they getting into. They've been able to watch her this whole season. You know what I'm saying? In the last few seasons, and I just wonder if she's gonna have, you know, that fretful rookie season it's going to take her half the season to get her wheels turning. You know what I mean?
I think it should. Like, because to me, especially at her position, there's some dogs waiting on her at the next level.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a second to adjust, especially with the level of speed, agility, and just their overall recovery. And even if they play your tendencies, depending on how your off season goes, you're going to have to, in a very short amount of time, develop some new tendencies. And with the right trainer, you can do it. but it'll be hard.
I'm gonna tell you what she's gonna have a problem with.
Look at my boy.
No, for real.
You got to make, bro. You got to make.
It does.
You got the clock in now.
No, for real, Betty.
One thing I can say that I definitely see that Caitlin has to do a better job of once she gets to WNBA, and that's handling the basketball, because there's some dogs out there that still get away with a little bit of hand checking defensively. There are numerous women in the WNBA that can handle the rock, dribble the basketball, have it on a string, and I don't see Caitlin with that ability yet, because she's been able to come off a pick and roll, come off a screen, down screens, come back up, been able to get her loose to shoot the basketball. So like you were saying, Chelsea, being able to mimic her game like Steph Curry, he's always moving without the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry's always moving without the basketball. If she's able to do that and be able to get loose, then she'd be able to get open shots, and I think she'd be solid. But her handling the ball, man, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a reality check, when she gets there for a little bit, handling the basketball.
Pat done snuck back in, Carter. He said, "You think she'll be the primary ball handler, or you think they'll move her to like the 2?"
No.
I think she'll be the 2.
She got to go to 2. She's
She's pretty tall too.
Yeah. She'll definitely be a 2.
Just until she can get that part of her game developed.
Yeah.
I feel like if she comes in and she's coming off those screens and she's moving out the ball and she's hitting those shots, that's going to build her confidence, and then she could just start adding on all the other things.
Oh, yeah. Once that ball goes in, it gets ugly. But now we do see that she'll have to learn how to make that second adjustment. Like, say, for example, we saw in the title game, you come out, you torch them for 18. They make an adjustment. Now your game has to adapt to what they're doing. So you might not get off the fall away, lean into the left 3. You're just going to have to go to the cup more often.
Yeah.
Or maybe go to a
just learn how to
pull-up.
move without the ball.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because even when I played as a shooter, sometimes I was face guarded. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to learn how to read this defender. If this defender want to jump the line, jump the wing, okay, cool. I'm going to cut backside. That's how I get those easy layups. You just got to find a way to still score, find a way to still get momentum going. So then it's like, okay, at that point, if you try to fake back door, I get you to jump, I'm going to pop back out. 9 times out of 10, I got that quick release, then I'm going to let it go.
Yeah.
But you just got to find a way to lose your defender. You could step into them, pop out, fade out. She got to find a way to just move without the ball.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm excited to see. I want to see what it's gonna look like. These first few games for her. Like I said, if I got a feeling that they're gonna try to adjust the gameplay to fit her. I mean, you recruit somebody like that, you draft somebody like that. I think you go back to the drawing board a little bit and see what'll fit Caitlin. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would do as a coach. We need to kind of fit her. We're not just fitting her into our gameplay. We need to kind of fit this gameplay to her a little bit, so where she can adjust.
She thrives when she has space, so she got to find a way to create that space.
Yeah, and she still. I think you still get the best of her when you give her that green light. You know what I'm saying? She need to be able to let it go when she want to let it go. She's for sure the best shooter that I've seen in a minute. In college, men or women. Yeah. In college, for real, for sure. But I'm excited to see. But I think I'm more excited about watching this come up with Juju for real. I think I'm more excited.
Do y'all think Juju passed Caitlin?
Man.
She already broke the freshman record.
Man, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't think she'll. But you don't have to stay the whole time on the women's side, do you? How long do you got to stay?
What's it, 3 years now?
I think you got to do 3 years. I don't think you got to stay
there 3.
Hey, yeah. She ain't gonna be that senior year.
No, I don't think she got. I don't think you got.
Only way she gonna pass Caitlin's on her way to the arena. Going to get she out.
Juju definitely got like this she got that dog gameplay. You know what I'm saying? She really got Juju got that dog in her for real. And her mid-range game is solid, man.
Yep.
Her mid-range game is solid. I would, do I want to see her shoot the 3-ball better? I mean, I'm not looking for her to be like Caitlin. Oh, yeah, for real.
Let's say go ahead, we change the rule now. And one of the things we were saying earlier, right before you jumped on, is I'm thinking that this crop of women and the visibility that the game's getting now is going to take the game to the point where it's possible that if things change quickly enough, Juju might not have to make it to that third year for it to make sense financially. Potentially, that's if everything stays the way it's going. Or she would be the one who breaks the market open to where the next one that comes up may not have to stay. Because a lot of the reason why we had some of the matchups we had this year is because financially it made more sense to stay in college than it did to go pro. So that's part of the reason why you even have a Caitlin Clark still breaking all these records this year, because she probably would have been just as highly touted last year if she went, potentially. So it's a good chance that depending on what the game does next year, if you have a good enough crop coming out and things have shifted economically, it might be, hey, look, we need to revisit this 3-year rule because we got one.
So one and done.
We got one.
I could 100% see that. I could actually see that. I just, man, with the whole NIL deal situation, until things change, I say, girls, I mean, if the money's going to be there and these NIL deal, maybe some kind of endorsements you're able to get and kind of solidify before you decide to go pro, man, get the money, man.
No, for real.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Can I stay in college for 6 years?
Hey, Steve. Hold on. This is one thing we didn't point out that the homie JD did. It's a short league.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes it a bit more difficult to get behind it economically speaking, which is a good point.
Yeah.
And Steve, we ain't coming back for no COVID year. You ain't appreciate us.
For real.
We taking our talents elsewhere.
For sure.
Ain't coming back for y'all to hate on us for another year.
Hey, listen, man. Look, like I said, man, if the money is gonna be there, just I would get all I can get. You know what I'm saying? It's just like it ain't like the men's league. If you get drafted first, you get drafted first, second, third round. These particular contracts, you can't be mad at. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like it's like whatever. If depending on my situation, I would enter myself in the draft and risk it. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. But the women, shoot, man, y'all get all y'all can get. You know what I'm saying? Until things change, you get all you can get when you can. That's why I was hoping and praying that this girl be like, I'm gonna take a shot at the big three because I wanted that. I wanted to get that money, man. I think it'd be. I want to see it anyways. All this, all this talk about her and her skills. I figure in the big three, it will 100% translate. They playing half court out here.
Reggie Evans. You think all right? You gonna call for a pick, and Reggie Evans is gonna switch on to you
and turn into Draymond Green real quick.
And now it's game time.
What's Draymond's problem anyway?
We ain't got time for that. That's another broadcast.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I wish I had his phone number. I'll call him and just. What's wrong with you, bro?
He'll cuss you out too, just like you cuss out the refs. Who is you? But yeah, man, this has been great. I'll tell you what we will do. We'll come back. We almost had my little cousin come on, who is another college hooper, elite hooper from the area, who's doing great things up at Georgia State. What we're going to try to do is by the time we get to the WNBA draft, we'll get some reaction going because I definitely want to keep the traction going, keep some eyes going on the WNBA as it looks to ascend. And just on the way out, Pat had one more question. Who y'all riding with for Rookie of the Year? CC, Angel, or I'll add the field.
Or see Caitlin or Angel?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I think we're gonna have a sleeper, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. Shorty from Tennessee.
The guard?
What's her name? Rakia Jackson?
Yeah.
I think she's a sleeper.
She fired too.
I don't know.
Pat,
I don't think I could choose either one.
Pat, I can't really choose. Well, yeah, I can. I'll always choose. All right. So I think I honestly think that it's gonna take Caitlin a little bit of time to get her wheels turning. But I think once her wheels start turning, I think she's gonna be unstoppable. Once she get it. I think Angel Reese's just inside game. I think she might be a Rookie of the Year. I think she might be. Her, I think it might be her over Caitlin. I don't know. We'll see, but I think it might be Angel over Caitlin. And the only reason why I think is because I think it might take Caitlin a little bit to get her wheels turning. I mean, it's expected to me when she first gets there. You know, it's going to take some adjusting. Angel Reese ain't out here shooting jumpers from the logo. You know, I think she can get a consistent amount of rebounds and a consistent amount of inside field goal points. I think she'll be pretty decent. And I think once her reels really start turning, I think she might shine a little bit. Honestly, I think the later part of the season, I think Caitlin will blow it out of the water for real though. I think she will. I think we're gonna start seeing like a Dame, like a Dame type of situation coming from Caitlin once she really start feeling herself. You know, because people compare it to Steph. I think she like Dame. To me.
I'm riding with my shooter, man. Bump y'all. we coming out the game with 35 first game.
35 first game?
No, I'm just playing. It's going to be a solid 15. Solid 15. 12 to 15. Solid.
That sounds accurate.
It's not going to look pretty that for the first couple games, but we going to bounce back. There was one comparison that Steve asked about. You think she needs to get closer to Sabrina's game? Nah, man, she gonna be herself, dog. Right with my shooter.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess it's more of a wait and see. My call with Caitlin is she's averaging 12 to 15, 5, maybe 5, 6, maybe 5 assists, not many rebounds.
Probably 2 or 3.
Probably 2 or 3 rebounds.
And my dog 4 rebounds, man. Come on.
That'll be something solid, 12, 15 points in the beginning of the season. Now, I think she'll have that sporadic 25, 30-point game that we all know her, to have, like she was in college. But I think the following season
might be a breakout year.
I think that's gonna be a breakout time for her. The following season, I think she's gonna be a monster the following season, and she's gonna give guards a problem. I think that we're gonna see a glimpse of that. Like the later part of the season, she's gonna start giving guards problems for real.
I wonder, do y'all think that the league is petty enough to purposely try to stop her takeover? Like everybody's just gonna be like, You ain't getting it. I don't care who it is. You, Caitlin Clark, ain't gonna be the one. Do you think they'll band together like that? Like, do you think Diana Taurasi's hosting meetings about how they're gonna stop Caitlin Clark?
I feel
Or
like they
do
do
you-
every rookie like that. If they do,
They got a thing with icing the rookies already.
yeah,
You
they do every
know,
rookie like that.
but honestly, I think that her and the rest of her team, man, she gonna get some flack from some of these girls. She gonna definitely have to be the one that's gonna have to prove themselves, when they get there. There might be a little bit of animosity. I don't think it's gonna be all love when she get there. I don't. I don't think it's gonna be all love when she get there because she's definitely setting the tone. So I think that'll be a little flack though, Alex. I think there's gonna be some flack when she get there. I don't think they're gonna ice her out, but because they do that to rookies. But I think she's gonna have to show up like for real. She gotta shoulders back and chin high, and be like, yo, I'm here. You know what I'm saying? But she definitely gonna have to prove herself when she get there.
Yeah, I think she can do it. It just it all depends on what her very brief off season looks like. I don't know how much
She
better.
ain't got that much time.
Yeah, I don't know how much better you can get in that. My boy said 3 weeks, but
First game is
It's
what, May
true.
15th.
It's
May
true.
15th. God.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
3
first
weeks.
game.
3-4 weeks. Yeah, she don't got much time. She don't got much time.
They done already fitted her for her uniform. It's already ordered.
Brother, listen, when she draft day, she'll have whatever she needs, lock everything. Draft day. I mean, I she didn't got that much time to get better at certain aspects of it. It's just not enough time. I don't know. I think she's they probably go, to their workouts, and she's starting to get a feel for plays and stuff like that. And before you know it, right when she get everything together, season start. I don't think she has that much time to really work like she really want to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But we gonna let this one be to be continued. We gonna have us a couple more guests on. But we gonna keep an eye on all of the up and coming stars this year in the draft. And we're gonna keep up with them during the season, man. I'm gonna make sure I make a commitment to keep up with women's sports a bit better than I have in the past. I've always been a casual fan, I could say, but I haven't put in enough of an effort, especially when I see the difference in how I've followed these last several months, really this whole last season with the college game, just because of how intriguing it's been. And if that helps progress the game, I'm certainly down for it. But we definitely want to give a shout out to our homegirl Chelsea for being on with us.
Shouts out
The
to
elite
Appreciate
college
y'all.
hooper herself, who just decided to retire early. But she might got some eligibility back. She might have some eligibility. She might jump in the transfer portal too. USF
I
ain't
might
too
as well
far.
jump in there.
Yeah, just ice them knees up. Ice them knees up. Shaw, we might got a couple left in us, bro.
Boy, I got about 5 games. Got a limit.
No, for real. Anybody need a shooter, let me know. I might jump back in the portal.
Hey, you might as well get that quick NIL, get on up out of
No,
there.
for real.
Get your money while it's there.
Hey, look, I don't even like to do this to people. But how she gonna come in here? It is 7:30.
That's a damn shame.
We ain't
She
doing all this
late.
again. Watch the replay. Just rewind this on back, and you can still type like you was in here live with us. She was on with us for one of our last episodes. We appreciate her as well. Tatiana telling us to get some icy hot. That's a lot of icy hot.
Oh,
We need full back coverage. Full back coverage.
That BioFreeze and that Tiger Bone.
Hey, you see the one they got you put in the freezer now, so it goes on. It's like real icy hot.
Oh no, I can't.
no, see, y'all know all the tricks.
The way my joint's set up, none of that ain't gonna work. None of that ain't gonna work. The way my joint's set up, my body is set up for literally
Full
about
bite.
5 games, and then after that, I can't do it no more.
All right, y'all. We're gonna
Like
go
in
ahead and
pickup, you
sign
only got
off.
5 games.
Listen, I got about 5 good LA Fitness games for you. About 5 good solid ones. That's it. Because after that,
My pride is gonna stay there as long as
What?
people are running.
listen, don't let me dunk. Because if I dunk, that's subtract 2 games. I use everything I had to get up. So if I dunk, that subtract 2 games. So I can't even.
At least
Down to 3.
at least you have that in your bag. I might. I don't even know if I can give you that mean backboard slap no more on layup. It's all floaters.
He's just gonna slap you back.
Yeah, I'm sick.
Exactly. Hey, I'm gonna just clap after it go in.
I got it in me. So,
But all right, y'all who's here on the broadcast with me, hang in the background with me for a second after we sign off. But we want to thank everybody who tuned in with us tonight. We'll be back within the next couple days with a special broadcast from Pat and Carter. Something they chopped it up on recently. We'll be releasing, and we'll be back with more content soon. So until next time, we appreciate y'all. Peace.
Appreciate y'all. Take care.